Okay, so far we were talking about the charts, the static kind of a data visualization where location was not involved. So in this module that is called Geo Data Visualization, Geo stands for geography, right? So we'll basically be visualizing the data based upon geographical locations. So in this module, we'll talk about geodata analysis, and our objective is to talk about geodata analysis. So basically, we'll be visualizing the data on word map. How we'll do it? It's very simple, very easy. Don't worry about it. So our first goal is to talk about geodata analysis, how important it is, how it works. Then we'll be working with the maps, with the obviously the map of our world. We cannot work with the map of Mars because on Mars there is no business, right? So obviously we need to analyze our business according to the map of this world. So we'll be visualizing states on the map with the data. For example, particularly we'll be talking about the US states. So for example, if someone is having high sales in maybe New York or maybe in New Jersey, then on the map they can visualize, okay, in New Jersey we are getting more sales or less sales, or something like that, right? We'll be talking about simple maps, and then we'll be talking about the filled maps as well. What is the difference between simple maps and filled maps? We'll talk about it. And finally, we'll wind up this topic by talking about pie charts with maps. So we have pie charts. We have already studied pie charts, what it is. When we want to visualize 5 to 6 categories of data, it is a good data visualization tool. So we'll see how we can combine these pie charts with the maps, right? So let's see first of all what is geo data visualization and how it can help us in extracting the best knowledge for business intelligence. So geo again stands for geography. So let's say this is our world map on which we can visualize our countries, our states, our cities. We can visualize our locations. So if we can visualize our location, it would be an amazing idea that we can visualize the location on the map, and alongside with that, let's say on the name of my state, I can also visualize how much sales have been made in this particular state, or so on and so forth, right? So it basically enhances data understanding. Depending upon the location, how much sales have been made, how much profit has been generated, and so on and so forth. It also identifies the spatial patterns as well. For example, if in the area in west is having more sales and the area in east is having less sales, it gives us a pattern that we need to let's say pay more focus on the area on the west where we are not generating a lot of sales. It helps us in making decisions that are location based, again as I just discussed. So we can visualize the data location wise, and then we can make the decisions easily. For example, if we are getting less profit from a particular area, we need to put more focus on that particular area. It supports market analysis. It tracks real-time data. Obviously, with Power BI, we always work with the real-time data, and that is something that is usually taken care by Power BI itself. At the back end, you just change the data. Visualizations will be updated automatically. Then it visualizes spatial relationships as well. As we discussed earlier, we can intuitively derive relationships between one geographical location to another geographical location. So let's jump into practical thing, that is our Power BI. So let's start working on maps. We already know how important data visualization is. So far we have learned the statistical data visualization. Now let's learn geographical data visualization. So we have opened a new page. Let's name it as maybe simple map. Okay, and then here we have a lot of charts. So we'll go over here that says map, right? So it looks like a globe. So I'll click over here on this map, on this chart. It will open up something like this, right? Right now there is nothing over here. Moreover, maybe at your end, when you will open up this map, it will show you some error over here. That is because you do not have access. You do not have given access to your map to access your data. So what you have to do is you have to go to this file option, and here you have options and setting. I'll go over here. Then you have this options. I'll come over here, and then I'll wait for the options to appear on my screen. Okay, so here we go. So here I'll go to security option, right, and I'll drag down, and here you can see map and filled map visuals. I have checked this checkbox, right? So by default it is basically unchecked. So if you have installed Power BI newly, you need to check this checkbox, and then you'll have to apply and okay and do stuff like that, right? So now you after doing this, you must be seeing your map like this. Okay, so here if we have a look on the options, you can see we have an option of location where we can drag and drop names of cities, names of states, names of regions, maybe names of countries, or whatever we want. Then we have an option of legend. I hope you know what it is, right? And then we have an option of latitude and longitude. So these are the basically coordinates. So if you have data in terms, if you do not have data in terms of location, maybe in terms of names or city, and instead you have data in terms of latitude and longitude, you can insert your data in terms of latitude or longitude over here as well. Or maybe if you do not want to do analysis based upon particular location, your analysis are not particularly based upon a city or a province or a state or a country. You want to do analysis on some different some different location. So you just have to add the latitude and longitude fields over here for those particular locations. Then we have an option of bubble size, tooltip. So we'll talk about these options. So first thing first, we need to drop location over here, right? So what I will do is I have states, right? I have this state column. If I go to this data view, and it will open up. Yeah, here we go. So if I check out the state column, so here we have the state column, right? So in this column you can see I have the names of the states, California, and then come on, show me something else as well. Yeah, then I have Ohio, then I have okay, so I have different states over here. Okay, so I have North Carolina and so on and so forth, Pennsylvania, different states. I can also visualize data on the base of city as well, but if I talk about the country, I only have data from US. So if you have data from multiple countries, you can also visualize the data based upon your country as well. Right now I'm gonna take state as my reference point, and I'll talk about state in data visualization. So in location, I'm gonna drag and drop this state option over here, and it will take some time at your end depending upon your internet, the speed of your internet connection, and then it will visualize the data at your end as well, right? So if it is taking much more time, then don't worry about that. It just has to do something with your internet speed. So I'll drag and drop it to make it bigger. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, so I have locations, and you can see at the locations I can see these dots, right? And why these dots are green? Guess what? Because our theme was green. So if I'll change the theme over here, you can see the colors are also updated. I think the green were better. They were light colors. Oh, where it is? No. Okay, I'll go with the blue. No, I'll not go with the blue. Okay, this one is better. I think I got back. Great. So then I'll talk about the bubble size, right? This is also an important thing. So bubble size will basically reflect how much larger a bubble would be at a particular location depending upon what condition. Okay, so for example, I'll drop this sales column over here in bubble size. So wherever sales are bigger, the bubble size is also bigger. Wherever sale is smaller, the bubble size is also smaller depending upon the amount of sale. For example, here in Cali, the sales are roughly 457,000 something, and if I'll go to, let's say, Nevada, then sales are only 16,729. So obviously there's a clear difference between these two sales. So I don't have to go into exact stats. I can simply visualize, hey, in California the bubble is bigger, so sales must be bigger. In Texas, bubble is bigger as compared to New Mexico and Arizona, but it is smaller as compared to California, right? So this is how I can draw you can say differences between between the sales amount. And here you can also let's say I want to check out the profit. I'll drop the profit over here. Now the profit is being visualized at Texas. I have very minimum profit. At Arizona, the profit is comparatively greater than Texas, right? If you remember, in Texas the sales were greater than Arizona, but now if we talk about profit, the profit in Arizona is better than Texas. So this is how you can create relationships between your visualizations, and you can make decisions. Okay, so so far we have, and also again, as I told you guys previously as well, you can change the aggregation functions from here. Maybe you want to visualize average or minimum or maximum values from this column, so you can check it out, right? Okay, so now we'll talk about this legend column, right? So I also want to know in which area belongs to which region, right? Which state belongs to which region. So I'll come over here to this region column and I'll drag and drop it over here in legend. So here we go. So now here the legend is created. So this part is basically the west part. The maroon part is basically the west part. The green part is basically the central part, and the yellow part is south part, and blue part is what? East part, right? So again, now I don't have to go into the each bubble and check out which state belongs to which region and so on and so forth. Moreover, if I hover over any state or any bubble, I can see these tooltips, so you can add or remove or any option that you want to add here in tooltip, right? Moreover, you can also work with the filters as well. So far I have region, state, and sum of the profit. So for example, I don't want to visualize let's say central state, so I'll simply uncheck it, so you can see central state is gone, right? So I'll come back and select all of them. Cool. Moreover, you can also visualize the data depending upon dates as well. So for example, from order date, from date hierarchy, let's talk about the year. Okay, so I'll drag and drop this year over here. Okay, so it is right now, since it can obviously display the count of the year. Over here I'll go to the filters, I'll say count of the year. So here it is mentioning that in how many count of year are there for each column. It is not very useful for now, but this is how you can visualize different options over here as well. For example, I'll drag and drop the city here. I'll remove it. So from here I'll select count of the city, right? So if I'll go over here in California, it is showing that there are 2001 orders that are, there are 2001 cities that are involved in the orders. Obviously the cities are repeated, so if I don't want to check out the repeated cities, I'll come to this count distinct option, right? So I'll come over here. Now you can see from California there are 81 cities that are involved in our sales, right? So this is how you can work with the tooltip option. You can work with a legend and location option as well. In next video we are going to talk about how we can convert these bubbles into pie charts. All right, so what if I want to create pie charts over here instead of these circles, right? So in the legend, let's remove this region option and simply we'll drag and drop this category option over here. Here we go, right? So now these circles have become sort of a pie charts, right? And from here we can also check it out, how much sales are there for technology in each state, how much sales are there for furniture in each state. So we can say in Florida almost all the sales are there for technology, whereas in North Dakota almost all the sales are there for the office supplies, and in the state of California half of the sales are going for the office supplies, they're blue, and then second number is for the technology, and third number, the green, is for the furniture, right? So this is how we can visualize, and we can also zoom in by using our mouse over here to any particular state as well, right? To getting more knowledge of state. Okay, moreover, what if I want to visualize the data based upon the cities, not the states? So how can I do that? I'll simply drag and drop the city over here and I'll remove the state. It will take some time, and here we go. So let me zoom in. Since there are too many cities involved, so that is why you can see this messed up map over here, right? So it is really difficult. However, if we hover over any bubble, we can have a look at the city name as well. For example, this city name is Superior, and then over here we have different cities: Morgan Hill, Woodland, and so on and so forth. I mean Midland as well. So this is how we can visualize the cities as well. We can also visualize the countries as well. I'll just hit Control Z so that I can come back to the states. Okay, that looks more nice and clean. All right, so this is how you can convert your simple circles into the pie charts. In next video we are going to talk about the filled maps, how we can work with the filled maps. So let's create filled maps now. This was the simple map, and filled map is also very much similar to the simple map. So I'll go over here, the option just beside the map we have an option of filled maps. So I'll click over here, I'll drag and drop it to make it bigger. Okay, so here we have an option of location, legend, then latitude, longitude as I described earlier, then tooltip, right? So here we do not have an option of bubble size because it does not create bubbles. So for location, I'll go with state again, right? So here we have, so all the states belong to US, so it has highlighted the area of US. So far as you may have figured that what is difference between the simple chart and simple map and the bubble map and the filled map, right? Let me also change its name as well. So let's call it filled map, right? Okay, since it fills up the options over here, does not create bubbles, right? If I hover over each option, it we can have a look on the option states. So now here in the option, let's select this map. So now I have an option of legend. Okay, so if I drop the region for the simplicity, I'll drop the region over here in the legend. You can see the regions are highlighted, and here we have the legends, and the regions are highlighted over here. We can select each state as well, since the map is divided on the basis of location. So we can select on the basis of state, so we can select different states as well. Okay, now in order to make it more fruitful, I'll not make use of the legend over here. Rather than making use of legend, I'll make use of profit over here, or maybe the sales. For now, let's go with the profit. So here we go. So it is displaying in terms of color how much profit is being made by each state. I'll zoom in so that I can have a look on the names of states as well. Here we go. So if you cannot have a look on the names of the state, all you have to do is you have to drag and drop, and you can also move the map up, down, right, left as well. Okay, so for example, here I can see in Texas this much profit is made. In New Mexico this much profit is made. Also, if I don't want to, and moreover, this is not the sum of profit. This is overall profit by each state, right? And I can also change the options from here as well. Rather than making this map on profit, I can make this map on sales as well, and so on and so forth, right? Moreover, you can, as usual, you can change the color of each state if you want, depending upon your need. So this is how you can work with the filled maps as well. Sometimes if you don't want to have a look onto these kind of bubbles, then you can work with the filled map as well. This is just another option for data visualization. You might be wondering that if we can work with, if we can format these maps or not. So we can surely format each and everything on the chart that we have discovered in previous modules. So can we format different things in the maps as well? The answer is yes. One thing that you can do is you can go to view, and you can change and explore a lot of options for the themes, right? So you can explore these options if you want, obviously. The second thing that you can do is, for example, if you want some particular changes, as usual, you can go to this format your visual option, and you will find plenty of options over here. First of all, let's talk about the visual, and right now we are talking about the simple map, right? What if we want to work around with the bubble? I'll come to this bubble option. Here we have two options. We have size and color option under the bubble options, right? Size and color. So I'll go to the size. I can change the default size of each bubble. So if I'll increase it, I hope you can notice the increase in the size of bubble, right? The default size of the bubble, right? So this is how you can, if you want to increase the size of bubbles, you can increase it. This is too much. This is also too much. I think this one is better. Okay, so you can work with the size. You can also work with the color as well. Since I have three legends, that is, I have three categories in the legend, that is furniture, office supplies, and technology. I don't want this yellowish color over here in technology, so I'll replace this color with maybe this orange color. Here we go, right? Although it looks even worse, but this is how you can do it. You can change the colors as well. This is about the bubble. You can work with the legend as well if you want. Right now it is turned on. You can turn it off as well. You can see there is no legend now, so you can turn it on. And here we have an options for the legends. Right now it is at top left, that is over here. You can make it at maybe top right. I want to make it top center. Yeah, top center. So here we go, it is at top center now. You can work with the text options as well. You want to increase its size, you can surely do that, but I don't want that. And you can also work with the title option as well. It is right now, it says category, this title option, right? So you can change this category text as well from here, title option, under the legends option, right? So you can work with the visuals. If you go to generic, you have even further options to work with. You go to property, you can change the size of the map, right? You can change the positioning, padding, each and everything of the map, right? If you'll go to you can change the positioning of the map, padding. Oh, we have discovered it. So you can also work with the title as well. Title says sum of profit and count of city by state and category. You want to customize it according to your need, you can surely do that. You can also bold and highlight. I mean, you can do all the things with the title that you can do with the text. Then you can also add the subtitle as well if you want. If I turn it on, you can see now I have the option to write the subtitle, right? And then we have effects option. You can you can have a background. Let's have a blue background. So here we go, the bluish background is added. That looks so bad, so let's make it a light color. Looks almost okay. So you can work with the background options as well. So, and then you have header icon option, tooltip option, so on and so forth. I mean, plenty of options to work with formatting. If I'll go to the filled map option, filled map chart, and here I'll again have a lot of options. I'll go to the filled format page, and then I have a lot of information, a lot of options over here. For example, page information. Then canvas setting, I can change it. It is by default at a 16:9 aspect ratio. I can change it as well if I want. I can change the background of the canvas. I can add a wallpaper as well. For example, I can add an image as a wallpaper. I can choose a color as a wallpaper as well, right? Sorry. Okay, so I can change a color as well. Let's go with the dark blue. Okay, and then and also we can change its transparency as well, right? So it adds more strength, or it takes strength from the color. You can add the filter pane, and a lot of different options are available over here. In short, you can do and you can customize each and everything that you can see over here. And if you're very lazy just like me, you just want to give one instruction and rest of the things should happen according to your need, then go to ChatGPT and create a new theme, write your customized options over there, and just import that theme from here, an option called browse for themes, as I described in previous module. So that's about it. So we have learned a lot about maps. We have visualized how we can, let's say, visualize the profit of different categories on simple map, how we can have a look on filled maps and stuff like that. And that's about it from maps.